So hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Absolutely loved Murder at the Embassy, so I'm really excited to chat with you.
Oh, thank you. That's so good to hear.
So first off, what was it like returning for the sequel?
Gosh, it's funny how much it was like riding a bike. Like it had been over a year since we shot the first film. And the first we shot with Mito and Misha on day one in front of the pyramids of Giza. So it was like this overwhelming, big, beautiful, incredible experience. And then she just starts speaking in her Miranda Green accent, and it's like, well, Miranda Green's back, and we're at it again. And it was, we had a lot of returning, producers and crew members and things too, and it was so much fun. It was a joy to jump back in, and to jump back in such a way was just awesome, I think.
That's great to hear. Um, in your opinion, what is the key to a good mystery?
I think for me, a good mystery is about everyone. There's so much to dig into because it's like not only is everyone a suspect at some point or another, but they also have whatever was happening that made you suspicious of them, and what's the story behind that, and then what's kind of like this branching narrative that kind of surrounds everybody, what brings everybody to this location now, and the reactions that they experience while someone else is talking, or just kind of like the way that they're either giving off a suspicious vibe or feeling suspicious about someone else. That's a huge element, is just this character and how this ensemble cast interacts with each other. What's that chemistry like in the room together? And then the other element is how the questions tend to roll out. What should you be asking as an audience member first? And what should you not be asking until later? And how do you keep the audience from asking those questions until you want them to? And so, like, there's a little bit of like give and take, and kind of like playing with the idea of like how you reveal that information, making sure that it's compelling enough that people want to lean in and they want to like know more and solve, like I think good murder mysteries make you, the viewer, feel like you're the detective and you're going to solve this, and you're picking up the clues, and you're like, okay, so we've got this, that, and the other, and maybe this, maybe that. So I think there's a lot of ingredients in that stew, but those are a few of the big ones for me, I think.
Yeah, I definitely tried to figure out who it was and failed miserably. So
That's good to hear. Because while you're shooting, there are strong moments where you're like, are we just giving the game away? Like, are we making it too obvious with this? And you're like, I don't know. We'll find out. And then while you're in the edit, you're like, okay, but now are we giving too much away? And yeah, hopefully it keeps you guessing. And even if it doesn't, it's a good ride, and it's just beautiful texture, location, performance. Like I think I'm really proud of what our team was able to pull off.
with all of that said, you obviously know who does it. Anyone who
Yeah.
reads the full script knows who did it. So,
Hmm.
what's it like for you having to direct and keep that balance of mystery, but also like, hey, we know what happens without giving it
Yeah.
away? Like, what's that like?
Yeah. I like to try as best I can to remember my first experience with the script, and like where was I curious? Where was I suspicious? Where was I, and then build on that as because it's never going to be the first draft when you shoot it. And so you still have a chance to kind of like continue molding that script before you get to the point where you're shooting. And, but it's always, I think, important to kind of hold on to what was my first impression here? And was that good? Was that bad? How do I amplify that? Or how do I reduce this or that? And it's just constantly kind of like you're spinning plates. That's the logistics part of it, but you're also like kind of like adjusting the temperature on a lot of really sensitive dishes that you're trying to serve, right? And so like there's this issue of um copious note taking, I think. Like I try to I try to break down every character and what's their deal? Why am I suspicious of them? What are they actually up to? Are they guilty? And then, like, from everyone's perspective, there's so much backstory too. Like, I write backstory for characters for myself. I don't even care if anyone watching the movie is aware of some of this stuff. But for me, it helps me know if we're getting too far off track and how to get the train back on the track. So this is a lot of strange things that I do to try and mold the experience as best I can. But it all really comes down to note taking, I guess. Have a thought, write it down.
No, that makes sense, especially when you've got an ensemble cast. It's like, oh, got to keep everyone straight. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and on top of that, you're working with a dog and camels, and was that
Hmm.
a real scorpion?
It was.
Was it
We had a
alive?
scorpion wrangler, but
Oh,
we didn't have a real live scorpion handled by the actors. But we did get some really fun, little close-ups of this guy scurrying along. Um, the dog's charming. Zing is our so Blunder was played by a different dog in the UK, and for oh no, in Chicago. And then Zing was our UK dog who is now taking on the role as Blunder. Charming, lovable little pup. Kind of a troublemaker at times, but we love him anyway. Camels were shockingly, I just hadn't really ever thought about what it would be like to ride a camel. And then Mito and Misha are up there and they're kind of being coached on, and Mito has had experience, I think, because that's how I remember the conversation going. He, at least if he didn't, he looked like a pro. But I was so scared of one or both of them just being like either thrown or falling from a camel, but we had professionals there telling them exactly where to hold on and when, because when a camel sits down, it is not graceful. It is like wham, wham, and then they like lower down onto their knees. And I'm like, how are you staying seated? But anyway, so yeah, a lot of animal challenges, a lot of fun things to deal with. But I think every single one of those things contributes to the texture and the energy and the realism and stuff that you kind of feel in the final product. So
no, for sure, for sure. I think it's impressive that you put together a really layered murder mystery and then you have to work with camels on top of that. So,
yeah, yeah. Thank you for appreciating that particular challenge.
um, Misha Barton as Miranda Green is absolutely delightful, and I personally want to see more. Can we expect more Miranda Green movies in the future?
I sure hope so. I'm in the middle of number three. We are not shooting. We're writing. We're talking to production entities who might be able to handle some of our out of the country needs. I can't talk about the details, but yes, if I get my way, we'll watch Miranda Green go on at least one more adventure, and I'm pretty excited for it. So
I like it. I'm looking forward to it already.
great.
And then, because this is a sequel and you're planning a third one, how do you keep each installment like the same thematically, but also very different enough to keep everyone engaged?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a really important element, in my opinion, is to not just serve up the same thing again. Like, so there are a few things. It's the nature of the murder mystery. Like we had like kind of a closed door, locked door mystery in our first film. And then we kind of have a little bit of a hybrid in this one. We're all still locked into a location, but then there's all of this outside adventure that's occurring in the surrounding city and in those locales. But there's also an element of Miranda's character. There need to be consequences for previous actions, and there needs to be growth that heading to the future, right? And to me, that's really the key that enriches what we're experiencing as we see Miranda learn that she can, in fact, solve a real life murder. And then decide by the end of movie one that she wants to go into business for herself. And now we're watching what it's like in the early stages of that career and her confidence of whether or not she's bitten off more than she can chew, and how does she handle, the pressure from the local, the head of security at the embassy when he's very much not happy that she's there. And so like navigating that area, and then like where do we go from there? What is now going to be Miranda's, third chapter? And that's kind of what we're working on now, is what's in store for her and what lessons are left that she has to learn. So
Well, I for one can't wait.
nice. I'm glad to hear it.
Um, that is about all the time I have, unfortunately. But it was great getting to meet you and chat with you, and I hope to get to do it again after the third one.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.